Where's it at? I just saw this. The judge ruled that DeShaun Watson, NFL quarterback DeShaun Watson, now will have to answer whether he had sex with 18 additional therapists who came to his defense about his massage habits last year. In other words, he's being sued by 22 therapists, Bill, and now there's 18 more that he's going to have to answer whether or not he had sex with under oath. How do you think that's going to work?
Probably not well.
If you're the Browns, here's my question to you. If you're the Browns, will there be a point this summer that you have buyer's remorse on all of this? Will there be stuff that will come out in court and in these depositions and on all these things? Will there be stuff that comes out as it goes more and more down the road here that just becomes very much cringeworthy? Would you say that that's probably going to happen?
Yeah, I could see that.
I absolutely think that's going to happen. I said it before. I'll say it again. I think the Browns will have buyer's remorse for a couple of reasons. One, I think he's good. I don't know how good he is after sitting out a year. Two, I don't know, to me, with everything with everything that is what I would call swirling around the guy, I mean, you just don't know what is not, what has got to be uncovered. That's the big thing. What is going to be uncovered through all this stuff? That's why, to me, if you're going to make that kind of investment in a guy, you really, really, really need to understand that a lot of stuff that needed to be resolved should have been resolved. And I think, again, there are some that think the Steelers should have been the team that went and got this guy. I'm not one of them. I'm really not one of them. I think the Steelers were smart. And not because I think that, people don't deserve a second chance. I think people deserve a second chance. I do think that there is a definite situation where, if you ask me, somebody was going to sign him and give him a shot. But if it were me, I would not have signed him and certainly not given him the deal that he gave him without all of these things being resolved. I just wouldn't have. So to me, the Steelers were very smart to avoid this, because I think these kinds of stories are going to continue to come out until all of this stuff is, resolved. And while I believe everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and I believe that everybody deserves a second chance, and I believe that, it is always, important to look at all the facts and be thoughtful and all that other stuff, I also know that if you've got now 40 women you've got to answer about, you just don't know what's going to come out, and there's going to probably be some details that are, embarrassing. There are probably going to be some things that come out that, anger a portion of your fan base. There could be some distractions. I mean, if he's got to go, and do depositions and all this other stuff during training camp and things. I mean, it just seems to me like there's so much unresolved about the case and the cases that it's not really all that a big of a deal for a team to pass on him because you just don't know what's going to come out. I think the Browns, did what they had to do to get a guy who is going to be their franchise quarterback. And all. I get it. He's a good player, but he's been out for a year. It's going to be very interesting to see if he's able to, pick up where he left off when he last played. He's got to get all this other stuff behind him. And let's face it, the way that he plays, you're one hit away from being knocked out for the season. I mean, that's just it. I mean, Lamar Jackson, we've started to see him get banged up a little bit more here and there. It just happens. If he's great and he's got a chance to be great, then the Cleveland Browns, to me, will have, justified what they did. I've said to somebody before, if the Browns make the playoffs the next 5 years, everything that they did and had to endure, they probably, more than got their money's worth. If they make the playoffs the next 5 years, I don't know how you could say, well, it wasn't worth it. If they win, say they make the playoffs the next 5 years and they win a couple of division titles and maybe even get to like an AFC championship game, even if they don't get to the Super Bowl, it's worth it, given their history. But I think there's a lot of things that are not resolved that are swirling around. If you're the Browns, you have to take that chance. If you're the Steelers, you don't. If you're the Steelers, you have the ability to basically say, you know what? He's a great player, and everybody deserves a second chance, but we don't need that headache. And we don't need to take a chance on a guy with 22 cases hanging over his head, and we don't need to take a chance with, so much uncertainty and things that are so unresolved. We don't need to take that chance because it's not worth it to us. And I think that's the thing that probably, you need to understand. If you're the Steelers, you're different than the Browns. And so I would hope that, honestly, we get into a place in a situation where, the Browns are able to put this behind them and, DeShaun Watson can come and just play and be a quarterback, and we'll see how it works out on the football side. But my feeling is the Browns are probably going to have a little bit of a roller coaster ride over the next few months before we even get to the football. And it's because of things like today. And, this judge is ordering that, hey, these 40 these 18 other massage therapists who testified, on your behalf that you didn't force them to do other things or whatever in the depositions, guess what? Now we're going to make them answer questions. Did they have sex with you? And, of course, that will become a circus. That will become a circus. And that's what you wanted to avoid if you were the Browns. Really. So that, to me, is what we going to what happens. So I feel like it's important to remember that, to be honest, that there is really something that is going to be swirling around this guy for a long time until it all gets resolved. And once it gets resolved, we'll be in great shape. So, that's the way I would look at it, and that's the way I would tell you. You have to take a shot if you're the Browns. But you don't have to take a shot if you're the Steelers. It's different.